Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another installment of For the Fan, episode number 155. I am Will. We got Dom and Jake, and we got my golf clubs in the background that I coincidentally forgot to put back in my car. But gentlemen, hello.
You blew it.
I could show my box of skates and golf shoes and all that other stuff I got in the corner over here. Yeah, that's over there. But yes, one final episode left of the our regular season is now it's here, and it's one of the sadder parts of the season, going through just about 29 weeks of talking football, and here we are. It's the end. It's
Not
sad.
for that long, but it is the end.
It is sad. And you know what? I forgot to make that lower third graphic today. I knew I forgot something. Forgot to make that lower third little graphic. So,
well, it's okay.
Yeah. We blew it. We blew it all. I'll figure that out momentarily. But, gentlemen, today we're going to get into it right now. You're listening to the last part of our regular season of For the Fan.
You are listening to For the Fan.
And here we go. We have some news to actually talk about. Not just the Super Bowl. We actually have some news that we can talk about, and the whole 10 yards here. So let's talk about the first one that just dropped, actually, officially 41 minutes ago. And the NFL is moving ahead, a.k.a. the time zones. Melbourne, Australia, to host a regular season game in 2026 is reported a multi-year agreement between the NFL and Australia. The first team to host is the Rams, and there is reports that the Eagles, with Jordan Mailata, the greatest Australian to ever live, to be playing down there in 2026. And
put some respect
let's hear.
On Steve Irwin.
Yeah. I was gonna say, all right, to ever play a sport in America. All right. Steve Irwin is greatest.
Steve Irwin's the greatest human to ever live. Okay, let's talk about Mailata, one of the better athletes from Australia to live in the U.S. But yes, what are your guys' thoughts on the NFL now? It's a global thing. This is the first time they've been this far in the time zone since playing preseason games in Japan in the early 2000s. So, yeah, very long time since they've been this far ahead, at least in the time zone situation.
It almost feels like it has to be a week one game. Or then like a 2-week off thing, like a week 0 in college football. It's like 16 hours off.
It's what they do in the NHL. The NHL, they have that whatever Finland game or Denmark or wherever the heck they're playing.
Didn't they play a preseason game in Australia like last year, or like 2 years ago?
Nathan Walker.
It was like. Yeah. It was like the Coyotes and the Blue Jackets. It was like the worst two teams they could possibly send out there. And they just said, you know what? Have fun. Here's a home and home.
No, it's because an Australian player was on it, Nathan Walker. But I guess they didn't do it. They got canceled.
I think I canceled it.
But nonetheless, in the NHL, they do like a half a week before the season technically starts, or a week before the season technically starts. They do the whole event in whatever European country that they're doing it in, and then they play 2 games out there. But they make it a whole thing. They make it a week-long thing where they practice out there. They do community events out there. They do a bunch of stuff, preseason game probably, against like some of the teams out there. And then they have 2 regular season NHL games, like half a week before the actual regular season starts in America and North America. But, I mean, like Jake said, I think that'd be the best case. To do it in week would be nuts to me.
Yeah, like a week 7 like they do in London. Like that'd be absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't know if you could do that. You'd have to do the team's buys, but like
you
before
have to
and
use
after.
Both your you have to almost use both your buys. Make it make sense.
So it is. Yeah, I don't know. A week 1 would probably make the most amount of sense, because then you have or not even a week 1, but like a week
0
half. Yeah, if you like threw it on a Wednesday or a Thursday before the week 1 slate, so because that's a bye week already for the preseason, you didn't need to work it out. Is there any Is there any other logistics here, Will, or is that it?
All other than the Rams are going to be the first team to host down there, and looking ahead to their schedule, it's the Commanders and the Eagles, the entire NFC West, a NFC South opponent to be determined, and then the Raiders and the Broncos. That is the Rams' home schedule for 2026 for what we know of so far. So that's all that we have there. And then there's the multi-year agreement, which no idea how long that will be. No idea if it's going to be like 3 years, 5 years, whatever. But there's already Spain. There's talks of potentially Portugal. You have Germany already, the UK. I don't know. Why don't we go back to the Rogers Center? Let's play some football up in Canada again. I missed when the Bills would play up there at least one game a year. But that's really all we got right now.
Well, they basically already do. I mean, what is it, like a 20-minute drive, and they're playing in Canada?
I don't think you could go straight. You have to go around the entire lake that's there. Ontario?
That's true.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you have to go one way or the other. It's probably a 20-minute flight, but
It's a ferry for your car.
Chicago too, right? Chicago's that close as well. I don't know.
No, you cross over the lake where Chicago is. It's all still America. Still there. But yeah, we got news about Australia. Let's talk about some other trade news that came out Monday. Myles Garrett officially wants out. OUT of CLE, Cleveland. He wants out, has 2 years remaining on his deal, $45 million. If the Browns end up getting rid of him, they will eat $36 million in space, but Garrett's contract is not guaranteed anymore. All the guarantee money's gone. They want to sign him to a new extension. Your reigning defensive player of the year for at least the next couple of hours. He wants out of Cleveland. And then the Rams told Cooper Kupp they're actively trying to trade him. So the end of Cooper Kupp in that very first draft class from Sean McVay, the second pick in his regime was Cooper Kupp, number 69. Nice overall out of Washington. So, yeah, what are your guys' thoughts on both of these? One's a big guy who can make a game-wrecking ability on the defensive line. The other guy, hey, hopefully he could return to that form that we once saw in 2021 with him being a Triple Crown winner in receiving.
I don't know. I think it's kind of obvious by now that what Jadeveon Clowney said years ago was kind of at least partially true, where it just feels like the organization and coaching staff kind of does what they need to do to get Myles Garrett those stats and like cater to him a little bit. Because I mean, I've said it for years. Any pass rusher that goes to Cleveland, their career dies like every time, period. It just happens every time. But who doesn't? Myles Garrett every time. I mean, he's a stud. Straight up, he'll be good wherever. But I don't know.
Doesn't he also like kind of hold all the cards so you like kind of dictate where he wants to go?
Yeah, probably.
The Browns have come out and said they are not trading him, so this could be a very long-lasting offseason thing. So this could be the same as Deebo Samuel we saw a couple years ago, Brandon Ayuk last offseason. So we could see how long this ends up going out for. The Browns have come out and said, hey, we're willing to pay you a new contract. Like, they're not afraid to give him, another, $130, $140 million. I mean, hey, one of the best defensive ends in football, and quite so. He led the league again this year. And no, he didn't lead the league in sacks. He was second.
Like everything he said is like, I want to win games, and you guys aren't going to do it. So I don't care what they can throw the most guaranteed money ever at him. I don't think he'll sign back there.
Yeah, I think we're kind of past the money part. I do think Cleveland's making a mistake by not. I mean, I get it. Like he's a generational talent of a pass rusher. Like it's what winning Defensive Player of the Year is. But like, what are you gonna do, dude? Like, what is Cleveland? I think Cleveland's pretty much cooked, top to bottom at this point. Coaching, even like everything. I'm really pretty over Cleveland as a football team at this moment. And their chance to maybe turn that in a direction and like steer the ship in a whole different direction is probably him. I mean, the return you're gonna get is Khalil Mack worthy Whether the Raiders did the correct thing with their return is another thing. But the Raiders got a crap ton of stuff out of that return from Khalil Mack. And you're looking at probably a similar situation for the Browns if they were to trade Myles Garrett. So, I mean, do it. You're making a mistake by holding on to something that is pointless at this point. I mean, you got to lean into it, correct your situation. Your organization right now is not in the right place. You have a lot of issues. You haven't figured a lot of stuff out. You're not in the best light with Deshaun Watson. You haven't been since that happened. That was a huge trade that you guys messed up. There's a lot wrong in Cleveland, and I do think he's the key to maybe some correction there. So this just makes it worse. If you're going to do this whole thing and make it a whole parade, here we are. I don't know. This just proves that probably nothing's going to change for Cleveland and their fans next year, I think.
Let's play a little matchmaker here. Where do you guys think Myles Garrett could go if the Browns said, you know what? Hey, we're terrible. We're a terrible football organization. And hey, let's get some draft capital because, we only gave away 10 years worth of draft picks to get Deshaun Watson, who's played a whopping 17 games in the last 3 years. So in a perfect world, where do you guys think Myles Garrett could potentially land? There's obviously one that I think is like blatantly obvious. I don't know if you guys have any ideas of maybe this team could go pick him up. This team could go after him.
Well, monetarily, one that makes sense is the Commanders. But one that makes the least sense financially is Philadelphia, but makes the most sense, like, given what he wants and the fit is Philadelphia.
Then there's like the teams that would want to, like the Cowboys and the Saints, who couldn't ever dream of it monetarily. Then there's the teams like Carolina, who like doesn't have a pass rusher, but why would he? That's a terrible situation. Like that's not the whole point of him wanting out is not that. So it's got to be like a pretty playoff team, but one that has money. I mean, I don't know. Maybe a Seattle.
That's why I said Washington, because they got a ton of money.
Washington's a good
just in the championship game. Like,
young, there's future.
Have a great interior line. Don't really have that many edge rushers.
I could see a team like Chicago trying to sell that place, sell them on that trade. I don't think it would work out that well. I see him also saying yes because of the youth and the talent, but like, I don't know. I like a Seattle where it's like it's a fit, I think, and it's playoff fringe at least, or like a Rams. I don't know if they have the money for that. But
the Rams are trying to free up some cap space with Cooper Kupp, so I don't think that will be a likelihood of that happening. And they're willing to eat a chunk of his salary just to move a trade, make a trade happen.
Yeah.
And then moving to Kupp, where do you guys think Kupp could potentially go? As this wide receiver free agency class isn't strong enough, so you're going to have guys like Cooper Kupp, like a Garrett Wilson. You're going to have, a DK Metcalf, maybe a Tyler Lockett that are like, okay, hey, maybe we can facilitate something and, make these guys' values go way bigger than what they are. I don't know if you're trying to do subliminal messaging, Dom, but I think you're I don't know if you're just playing with your jersey because you're bored.
No, I know Kendrick Bourne's out here like trying to do the thing Matthew Nunn was doing where it's like, come to the Patriots, blah, blah, blah. So he already tweeted at Cooper Kupp. I don't know. I don't think Cooper Kupp goes to the best situation.
He has Titan written all over him.
Yeah, something like that where it's like a bottom team. I think it's going to be a team that has all the money in the world, like the Patriots, like the Titans, like I don't even know who else, who has a young quarterback, not the best situation, a bottom team this past year. I think it's going to have to be a situation like that. I don't think it's Cooper Kupp going to like a great team, like it's like Odell Beckham going to the Rams that were contenders, or like to Baltimore where they we're contenders. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think it's really exclusively going to be a bottom team. So, but he could key piece in a team that substantially improves, maybe. But I don't know. If he comes to the Patriots, I think he'll get yards, he'll do his thing. But I don't know if it's the best situation for him, So
I do have one team I think would make the most sense. And I think it's the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think they could re-sign Godwin. I think he's going to be too much, and Kupp is like that right money for them where they could stay under the cap. They could still get another guy. She could move McMillan into the slot, who emerged in the last 8 games this year. I think the Buccaneers could be a very good suitor for Cooper Kupp, and I think Kupp could get back to that range of, hey, I was that number 1 receiver in the NFL that 1 year, 145 catches, just short of Calvin Johnson's record, 16 touchdowns that year. I think the Bucs could be a very big possibility here for Cooper Kupp, and maybe getting the Rams some draft capital back, trying to find their next Puka Nacua in that offense.
I think we see a similar fit or similar situation to Adam Thielen, whereas older dude still has it though, like to be a receiver in this league. That's just going to go somewhere that's more of a lesser team than where he's at, a lesser situation. But I think Cooper Kupp, has a stronger case. Cooper Kupp, like you said, Tampa Bay would be so ideal for him, hands down. It's quarterback that's gotten him the ball before, no?
No, they didn't play together.
No,
Kupp was out with injury. Yeah.
Close. But yeah, okay. That'd be sick for Cooper Kupp. That might be a best case scenario, to be honest.
Looking at it, hey, everyone's like, oh, Baker's written off, and then it's Kupp. Kupp was terrible, down the stretch. He had, a couple games with just 1 catch to close out the year. Then he went against the Eagles, had 5 catches. That was his most since, the beginning of December. So, it's
when Puka came back.
Yeah, Puka came back and took the volume with him.
Yeah.
All right, well, let me break this down here. So let's break down Willie's Indianapolis adventure here. So I'm not going to sing it as the Colts fan of the year guy who sings all those songs. I can't do it. But yeah, let me break this down here. I want to go back into here. Let's see, which one do I want? I want this one, and then I want that one.
Okay.
So Lucas Oil Stadium, the big brick building. Photo on the left was when we were coming into Indianapolis on a Friday after this, quote, flight from hell, which I didn't think it was the flight from hell. I thought it was a pretty enjoyable flight. There was some turbulence, and then the flight attendant fell when there was no, rattling of the plane. So I think she was overreacting to the whole thing. And then, you kind of feel it and all that stuff. I was having a fun time.
Who coined it, the flight from hell?
Oh, my fiance, Allison.
All right. I was really thinking that maybe the flight attendant did, which would be an insane thing for a flight attendant to say. Okay. All right. That's fair.
After everything that's gone on, with planes and all that stuff last week. So, yes, it was coin the flight from hell. Even after spending $40 in an airport for 2 beverages. Yeah. Little excessive.
That's the receipt from hell right there.
It is the receipt from hell. But hey, Jason spent like $60 on 2 drinks. So, but yeah, so Lucas Oil Stadium here seats just over 60,000 people. Hosted the very first Royal Rumble, which is my first event flying out to go to any of these events. I've only went driving to Philadelphia, Newark, or went up to MSG for these events. So this is my first time going out there. Building doesn't look that big until you get right underneath it in the second photo, and you're like, damn, that's a pretty big photo. So getting there in the coin term, the lift from hell, which was another thing, which is a whole nother thing I can describe, but I'll describe it off camera. So trying to get into the stadium, I give it a solid 4.7 trying to get in. There was no lines or whatever. It was just a big clusterfuck of people trying to just get in at the same time. Got there, right as the gates opened up at 3:30. So that was what?
Is this out of 10 or out of 5?
Out of 10.
Oh, oof.
So trying to get into the stadium was a big clusterfuck, trying to manage through, no straight lines. And Colton joins at the greatest time of me explaining this trip. Go Devils. And yeah, trying to just merge in, trying to get in here all at the same time. So this was a very, very 4.7 out of 10 experience. Yeah. But then you walk inside, Pat McAfee's right there. He's talking on the pre-show, all that stuff, yada, yada, yada. And I got to talk about the food and the bevies. Got to talk about this bad boy, this bad John, this nice big old aluminum cup. Yeah.
Is it
Only
the
a Mc-
same? Is it the
It's
same?
yes, it's the same cup. It's from the same company. Yep, from Ball, the aluminum cup. This thing right here, $14 for a beverage. It was pretty good, although it was a Michelob Ultra. It was either that or Bud Light. So I was like, okay, it's either pale or extra pale. So yeah, had a pizza, pretty good. This time it was sliced. Yeah, I give it about a 7.4 out of 10 for my experience there, which is pretty good. And then you go and you experience it all. You go inside here, 70,000 people packed into the Lucas Oil Stadium. Unfortunately, the AFC finalist banner was not above me. Andrew Luck somehow obtained it and signed it inside Barstool's headquarters. So I was a little upset about that. But the crowd and all that stuff, I can't rate it an NFL crowd because this wasn't an NFL thing. This was a wrestling thing, and being the Royal Rumble, a Big Four pay-per-view, I give this a top 3 event that I have been to. I rated it up there with SummerSlam 2017 in Brooklyn, and they could tell you the most. If the product sucks, it sucks. And then WrestleMania 40 Night 1 in Philadelphia. I'll rate it number 3 on my list. Crowd was great. It was exciting. I do have videos. I could show you I Show Speed getting demolished, which is my favorite video of all time. I love that video to the end of life. Yeah, I'll just put that video on.
This is
great.
entertaining.
That was my favorite thing of the entire trip, is just seeing Speed getting demolished. Colton's just he doesn't want any more of this stuff. He wants me to continue roll on with the show.
No, hey man, I wanted to ask how your trip was. I could care less about the wrestling part of all of it, but it seems like you had a great time, which is cool. Again, people love it, man. I used to be into it when I was younger, and I don't know why, but as soon as I found out it was fake, I was like, oh, what the hell am I watching this for? And then that was that. Again, I see a bunch of adults still watching it and into it. People love wrestling for a reason. It's not for me. Ever since I found out it wasn't like real wrestling, even though they are getting hurt. Like, I mean, I saw the video of Kevin Owens going through the light. Like, bro, that stuff still hurts like hell. Like, again, you can't fix that stuff. The jumping off the steel cage is at that high. Like, it's not fake. You can't fake that stuff. But yeah, I just not for me. I don't know why, but ever since I found that out, I was like, what the hell am I watching this for? So people love it, though. I'm glad you had a good time, man. It took a blast.
Went to this place called Fogo de Chao Friday night, one of the best steakhouses I have been to. A $63 thing, and it's all you can eat. They'll come around with picanha, top sirloin, garlic wrapped sirloin, bacon wrapped sirloin, bacon wrapped chicken, garlic chicken, pork, sausage, all that stuff. They just like assault you. They're like, "Oh, hey, you want this?" Then you slice it. They give you little tongs to like pull it off as they're slicing it. You put it on your plate. You eat it. A whole like salad bar with like fruits and fish, all that stuff, soups and salads. That was really good. And then I went to a B-Dubs there, and it was pretty ghetto. So, that was the least favorite part of the trip. But I did see Busch Light on tap, which you're not in New Jersey if you see Busch Light on tap. You don't really see that stuff around here. I had a great time, though. The lift from hell, I survived. And then the walk back, it wasn't that bad. We stayed right by the circle, so it was like a 15-minute walk. But you're walking with like 30,000 other people just back to your hotel. So it was an easy walk, to say the least. So getting out was a lot better than getting in. But our seats were also like right there. The window, like, doors are right there. You can get up, walk out, all that stuff. But yeah, had a great time. Obviously, have to go back for football. I did talk to this guy next to me. He has Colts season tickets. He's been a season ticket holder since 2016, and he told me Anthony Richardson. He's not the answer. Got to get rid of him. He said, axe him, get him out.
He's not the guy.
Not that guy, pal.
But he also told me I have to come back for the Indy 500. I have to go for all the parties and all that stuff they have in the inner thing. He goes, listen, you'll never have to buy a beer if you go there. Pay $40, you go in the middle there. You'll always have a beer in your hand no matter what. He goes, it's a great people watching. He says it's a great people watching experience. Race, who really cares? The people watching, 10 out of 10. And he also told me I have to go to this. Told me I got to go to the steakhouse, though.
Go to a NASCAR race because I think they're probably so.
What's the closest one? Delaware?
Dover?
Yeah, Dover. Or Poconos.
Or Dover? One of the two.
Yeah. But yeah, he told me to go to St. Elmo's, which is a steakhouse there. And he says it's the best shrimp cocktail in the country. It's rated that high, and I have to try it. But he told me I have to come back for a Colts game because the tickets are fairly priced.
That place is in the Giants Hard Knocks. They all had it during the combine.
Yeah.
The shrimp cocktail. Damn. Apparently it lights your hair on fire. Spicy.
Never had a shrimp cocktail, so that's going to be my first time. But, yeah, 10 out of 10 trip. I'll go again. If everything's a walking distance, obviously. It's a lot better than having to rent a car and all that stuff. They wanted to charge $150 to park at the stadium for that event. And then where our hotel was, they were charging $60 to park. And it's like, thank God I don't have a car. I could just walk there. I'll just pay the lift. $70 for to and from the airport. Like, I'm okay with that altogether. So couldn't beat it.
That's the problem. Like, even again, oh, don't drink and drive. The problem is and I got it. Lyft and Uber and all these places got to make money. But this is why you so sadly have people drinking and driving. Because I got it. You should be responsible. If you're going out, you should know to have a limit and know you're going to spend that money on a Lyft or an Uber. But man, they you might as well chop your arm and your leg off because boy, oh boy, that's what they're charging you to go. So
especially on a high demand, high traffic moment. It's crazy.
They're expensive.
But yeah, let's go into the little injury roundup here. So we got Landon Dickerson who says, quote, I will get stretchered off the field if it relies on me for the Super Bowl. Despite having a knee injury that he had during the NFC Championship game, he's going to battle through it. And then the extent of it's not really known, but that's all we got for that. And then Eagles, Jalen Carter missed media availability due to an illness, but we'll learn more on his participation status for practice today later on. So only 2 injuries we have. And then the Chiefs, obviously, there's nothing about the Chiefs. So, yeah, that's it. That's it for the injuries. Let's talk about everyone's favorite thing here. I ask it every season this episode. I ask it every time. Here. How does it feel to see your team win a championship, whether it's a Natty, a Super Bowl, a Stanley, an NBA championship, a WNBA championship?
The NBA championship. It was great. It was during COVID, so everyone called it a fake championship, but I enjoyed it.
Mickey Mouse title.
Yeah, Mickey Mouse title. Kiss my rear end. That's a legitimate title. It was great. I was a toddler when Lord Stanley came back to Jersey, so I can't really give you any information on that. Yankees, I was also a youngin when they won, so again, couldn't give you anything on that. Steelers was a range of emotions against Arizona in that Super Bowl. There's nothing like it. I can't wait to kind of enjoy one as an adult now, whenever that time comes. Sadly, it's not anytime soon with this dysfunctional franchise. But I can't wait for that moment to celebrate with my dad whenever it does come. And I can enjoy it a little more as an adult and the meaning and just eat, sleep, breathe football like I am now compared to when I was a young kid, even though all I did was watch sports. But yeah, there's nothing like it. The most recent one here is the granddaddy of them all is one Jake. So and my double dip here. So You can kiss my ass, Jake, but no smirk, nothing. This is a man that is locked in on football week. Holy cow. See, by the way, I don't know if it's just me. Jake, it might feel a little different for you, but like Will and Dom, has this week felt like Super Bowl week to you guys? For me, it's a no.
Not in the slightest.
No.
Yeah, for me, it's a no. I don't know. Again, Jake, like being an Eagles fan, like going on like your social media, like it's Eagles. Like for me, I go on my social media and it's Steelers stuff. Like I couldn't imagine this being a Super Bowl week with the Steelers. I'm like I'd be engulfed. But like as a casual, I feel like I don't. Again, it could be because of the big NBA trades that have like kind of taken over the news. But like I totally forgot like that this week's the Super Bowl at times.
I usually don't even pay attention to it anyway. Like Dom and I were talking about it earlier. Like the only thing I remember from like even seeing on a clip or watching from Super Bowl 52 was the Alshon Jeffrey just like torching them. Mostly because that's exactly how I feel about the week. And it's like this is ridiculous. So I don't need to do this. But I don't normally care, but two, it also does feel like it's not as blown up as it normally is. But I guess I'll say mine because I think Dom's looking up something. Yeah, like the two best sports moments was getting to see the Rose Bowl in person. You know, Penn State wins the Rose Bowl, but I don't think anything will compare until the next actual championship from when we won the Super Bowl versus the Patriots. Like, not ashamed to say I cried. Like when Tom Brady got strip sacked, I was jumping up and down with knees to chest as a grown man. Zero shame. It's especially like I got to experience that one with my dad and like a bunch of like older people who really appreciated it more after all the years of like not winning a Super Bowl and all the heartbreak. And then you got to deal with all the Giants fans who, you know, how many rings you got, blah, 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 even though they lose every game to us, but they still get good to say that. And it was a nice feeling. Like you have to, you know, give them the finger and say, shut up.
What about you, Dom?
Okay,
You've seen what? You've seen what? Only one championship? I think I know where it's going here, but
What? What do you think you know?
I think I know. I think I know. Your face is glowing red. I already know where it's going. I know where it's going. I know where it's going here.
Give me a sec. It took me a while to find this. I want you to know this took me like all of Jake's talking. Well, I got one of my championship moments hijacked from me.
Here we go, baby. Here we go.
I don't know how loud this is gonna play.
Oh, it's gonna be like loud. Oh no, it's muted. You have to unmute it. It's in the bottom right there.
Because it's gonna play through me and Jake as well.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna just. But Colton, I don't know. Colton? Do you know about this?
I feel like I remember seeing videos of this. Isn't there like a picture of you guys?
No. So
it's so much better than that.
This is when the 2018 Washington Capitals won the Stanley Cup, and me being a Capitals fan, this is a big deal. You know, I mean, like you can see, I have a championship parade thing right there. I have a newspaper. I have the newspaper from Washington, D.C. when they won. I actually brought this home with me. So, like, and framed it. But because I went to the parade. Will went as well. And you know, we had a great spot, by the way, on this parade.
But, yeah, we get out of the train station and they're like, well, where do you want to stand? I just stop in the middle of a crosswalk and they just put a barricade in front of me. So we're just like first people there.
Yeah, it was awesome. And so then the news station came around, and this is what I have to remember the moment by.
You gotta unmute it. I don't hear it at all.
All right, one sec.
Oh my goodness.
It might be so loud. I don't know.
Tell me how much the Capitals team and the Stanley Cup means to you.
It means like the world to me to see them win the cup. It really does.
What?
Well, I mean, they haven't been past the second round in like you don't know 20 years. So like it means you beat the former world champions. Now you're all the way. You're holding it yourself.
That's cool. How about the parade? Is the
Such an asshole.
He's such a fraud. This guy Will is such a phony.
Here I am standing right next to him the whole time, by the way. They won't show me. I am standing him right like shoulder to shoulder on the other side of him to the point where one time when he was like fumbling over his words, he was like, they haven't won in like I 20 years. And so it's just like that's my moment.
Oh no, you're way too nice. I would have thrown him right under the bus. He ain't a Capitals fan. I'm the real Capitals fan. He's not. You're way too nice. I would have
Well, I
thrown
was just
Will's.
hoping that I was next. Like I was hoping they'd come to me, and I'm like,
Nah, I would have thrown Will's corny ass underneath the freaking bus and ran him over, backed it up, went back over again. Nah, I would have thrown him under the bus. He's such a little cheater, this guy. Picks every team under the sun. Like, just wait, man. I know he was itching for the Commanders to make it to the Super Bowl. I know he was itching for it. Same thing with the LA Rams. He was just itching for it.
Come on, I was talking about it 2 weeks ago. I was like, come on, it was almost the Billy Bowl. Like Dom even proclaimed it as the Billy Bowl.
Yeah, and ever since he's decided he wants to be a Flyers fan, we've been awful ever since he decided. He's like a curse.
No, he's secretly happy though. His Capitals are first place. He's secretly happy right now. Don't worry. That's why he's all good right now.
Yeah, all I have is just let's do this. Yeah, 2 fantasy championship rings. That's all I got. My back-to-back.
He's on OV watch. Don't let him fool you. He's on OV watch.
Well,
Eagles won.
Eagles won. I got. It's like SoFi's looking one. There we go. Come on. You wanna correct? No, it doesn't want to correct. Yeah, that's all I have for championships. Maybe I'll bring Arizona State's championship in my dynasty if the game's ever played. Who knows? I'm not throwing shade at anyone here. Just gotta play CJ Smith. Hold on. There we go. All right, but let's talk about some other stuff from Super Bowl week here. What is your favorite moment? Obviously, we're not watching 5 hours of media coverage for the Super Bowl opening night, but there is a lot of clips that have come up after it. What is your favorite moment from Super Bowl opening night that you got to see? Probably on social media, not watching the broadcast.
I mean, if you're talking this year, nothing at all. Nothing is my favorite moment. For me, it's the Luka Doncic stuff, and we're an NFL podcast, so I am going to avoid that. But yeah, I've enjoyed the Laker nonsense from all this stuff. So yeah, no, nothing for a Super Bowl week for me, Coach.
I haven't watched 1 second of this year.
Yeah, I've seen clips, but none of them were that enjoyable. Like the Jameis Winston thing doesn't do it for me, so I really didn't care that much about that. Like
I've watched
I don't know.
the normal shows I've watched all year that happen to be down in the Radio Row, whatever it's called. But like I haven't the player interviews. The only one I've actually even seen in a clip is Travis Kelce losing his mind, throwing a tantrum.
Yes, he belongs in the bathroom.
No, like I already said, the best one ever is Alshon Jeffrey just bodying that board, asking dumb questions. It's like, how will the weather affect it? We play in a dome.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I didn't see.
It's incredible. It's incredible that they let all these idiots down there.
Actually, no, I saw one from this that's absolutely hilarious. There's a story. Someone went up to Braden Mann, the punter, confused, and asked him, "Where's Isaiah Pacheco?" Because he was confused because it was number 10. It was a wrong team and not even close to the same position.
Nice.
I should see if I can get a media pass and just go in there. I'll interview all these guys. I'll be a better Guillermo than the actual Guillermo.
Oh, people definitely fake passes and get in there. I swear
Sure.
sure.
Apparently they got all the facial recognition crap like that.
Oh,
No, they're legit. It's just they give it to everybody, so you probably could get it if you want.
I'll fly down there. I'll get us some interviews. But I gotta say, Jameis Winston having W cookies in his pocket and like throwing it at everyone was pretty funny. And Diop's like, I don't drop anything, and he totally dropped the cookie and it just broke.
Nice. Oof. That's rough. That's a rough look, man.
So yeah, that was pretty funny. And then everyone, oh hey, how do you eat W's? And then he's just like, got the W's going on. All right, I'll skip forward here. So we are an NFL podcast, but there was a monumental trade that happened late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, depending on where your time zone was, with Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis, and then whatever scraps were sent to the Utah Jazz. In NFL terms, what would be the comparison of Luka going to a team and Anthony Davis going to another team, and then the third team just gnawing some kneecaps or whatever?
I guess trading Joe Burrow for TJ Watt. I think I already saw that analogy. Like, that's probably the best way to describe it. TJ is a very good player, just like Anthony Davis is a very good player. But you're trading a transcendent talent in one of the main positions in the sport for a position that's not really as important. Again, edge rushers are important, but like same thing like a center and a rim protecting big in the NBA. Yeah. Oh, also the age difference. Yes.
Okay.
31 for AD and 25 for Luka.
Wow, he's only 25.
And he's on his third team now.
Luka. I hate you. Oh my gosh, he's not. He's on his second team. Shut up.
He was Atlanta Hawk, though, okay? He went from a Hawk to a Maverick or whatever it is. Just like Russell Wilson, he went from a Hawk to a Steeler.
I'm so glad we're almost done for the year. Oh. Good grief.
I want to die.
Since we're almost done, let's kind of recap here. What was everyone's number one moment from the show that expanded 28 weeks? What? There's 18 regular season games, wild card, divisional round, conference, Pro Bowl, this show. So another 5. So that's 23. And then we add another 7 weeks. Damn. Almost
Honestly,
30 shows.
Yeah, mine's easy. Mine's always the draft show.
That's true.
Me flipping out for the second year in a row over an Atlanta draft pick, which made no sense again with Michael Penix Jr. Remember exactly what my reaction was? Easily the draft show.
Atlanta's run by morons. Oh, my God.
The draft show is great.
They're idiots, man. Oh my! Again, can't wait for next year's draft show, and I'm mind-boggled again with Atlanta doing something stupid in the first round. Teams just allergic to taking smart draft picks in the first round.
I would say mine is probably the moment that people started asking us questions in fantasy that 1 week, Will. And then we were like, oh, we have engagement now. And then we created the fantasy things. And then me and Will at times spent 2 full hours just answering, doing nothing other than answering people. And that was it. So, I mean, that was cool to get the engagement finally. Live engagement with questions and stuff is pretty awesome. And that was a very big change of pace for us, obviously. So that was probably one of the cooler things, I think.
And then we had this guy who was asking, oh, do I start George Pickens or Terry McLaurin in week 18? I said, Terry McLaurin, it's not a question. And he goes, why? I'm like, if you start George Pickens, you're an absolute idiot. And he goes, why again? What do you mean, why? I've already told you it. Terry McLaurin's a way better receiver. He's going to look at it. Come on. Exactly. That's exactly what that should be, okay? I should have just blew it up and been like, oh, okay, hey, it's
Did somebody say boom?
He's back. We get to use it again. Josh McDaniels.
It's true.
back in the league, baby. Back in the league. Jake, what's your number one moment from, 29 weeks of agonizing football talk?
I honestly have no idea. It's probably all the times I get up in the bathroom. Like just all the this, it's just the best thing. It makes my whole week.
I enjoyed the Willisms.
The Willisms are pretty great.
I always enjoy the Willisms, like that, especially when he started really doing the regular season picks and like doing all the traffic routes from one spot to the other and all that stuff. I was enjoying that because I don't think out of the four of us, I don't know if the other three of us could do that. So I do give him credit for that. That was impressive.
And as Allison put in the comments, the Billy Bowl. What could have been? It was right there, damn it. It was right there. Geez, I don't even know what my number one moment would be outside of calling out Colton for the Wawa pizza. That was pretty highlighty. So that's up there.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, I don't know what else my number one moment would be.
Oh, sorry. I know. I
That's
will
all.
say, I did a runner-up for me is our NFC South like preview.
Oh yeah, we gaslit Colton in the pick in the Falcons.
Yeah,
Honestly, some of the cells are some of my favorite rants for the cells.
yeah, that's fair.
They're pretty good.
The weather.
The weather. Will selling the weather like 4 times.
Yeah, Will's amazing for that. The ultimate jinx, because guess what? We're getting like 10 inches of snow next week.
There we go. I'm so excited. Snow day.
Not even
He's
close.
buying the weather.
I'm buying the weather. Just give a call to intern Joe. He'll make sure that snow turns in the rain instantly. The biggest jinx out there. But yeah. I got to ask, I know we've been talking about this for the last, 23 weeks. There was I don't know if you want to put the Pro Bowl game up here or if there was another game that caught your eye. But what from this weekend may have caught your eye from this past weekend across all sports? Not just the Pro Bowl, across all
Me
sports.
watching Michigan win in person against Rutgers. That was my game of the week. And this question shouldn't have been asked. Well, you're terrible.
Hey, go Maryland.
Penn State getting shut out 3 straight games. That's pretty awesome. Love it. Thanks, Will. Still Mew.
You know what my top games were? I took a Rutgers class last week from Tuesday to Friday on Zoom, 8 hours a day. It was a long class, okay? I played so much NCAA during that class. I'm gonna like I probably played like a solid, probably like I might have gotten through like 10 games of NCAA football during that class over those 4 days. So you know what? I'm gonna get a 98 on the exam. So I'm just saying, did not reflect me slacking whatsoever. Okay, just putting that out there.
You just had the good playbook.
Yeah, no, I was figuring out my playbook and everything, and and just so I would say those games got me through those 8 hours. So those are my top picks of games in the weekend.
Yeah, I didn't watch any games this weekend. You know what? The Men's Royal Rumble. That's what I'm going to put my top game of the week. Okay.
It's sports adjacent. It's perfect.
If you say his name, he appeared, and Joe Hendry did appear, and it made my day. And then also John Cena coming out. And then it was CM Punk.
I didn't know he came out. How'd you see him?
Dude, they just played a song. It's like God coming to the ring. He just, the light just shines down the aisle and just goes all the way to the ring. All right, and here we go. One final time in the regular season here. Buy, sell, and hold ahead of the Super Bowl, okay? Ahead of the Super Bowl. Obviously, there could be some other stuff there. You got to continue it one final time here.
All right.
What are we looking at in a buy category? Obviously, we said last week things could change between Wednesday to Wednesday, and, they
Things
can.
indeed did change. I am buying the Los Angeles Lakers and Rob Pelinka or Rob Lowe, however you want to call him, because he looks just like Rob Lowe. I'm buying the Los Angeles Lakers. I know wrong sport, don't care. I didn't even know the Super Bowl was playing this week. Luka Magic, baby. Bye.
I'm going to buy on Brandon Graham playing. I remember what I did last week, but I think it might have been that. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Brandon Graham is 100% playing.
I'm gonna do my annual sell of Roger Goodell. Are we doing buys?
Yeah.
Let's go in order. We're gonna do buys.
Sorry. I was excited to say this. I don't know, man. I don't what Super Bowl food. I'm buying what I eat there in the Super Bowl. It's always a great time.
I'm buying Will's. I'm also buying Will's B-dubs.
I am buying Will's Buffalo Wild Wings account, rewards account. That's what I'm buying every year.
I'm buying into Picanha. That is a really good steak. And then speaking of B-dubs, it's a whole free list right there. That's all that's right there.
I love that you printed it out. It makes me so happy.
And then what about sells? Where do we want to go on for sells here? Dom, you go first. It's your annual sell. Go ahead. Do it.
Okay, I'm gonna sell the annual conversation Roger Goodell has about the refereeing, where he says absurd things like, "I have never seen better reffing in this league," every year. Where it's now we know for next year the NFL is going to do the wrong thing and continue with these rent-a-ref union bull crap, where they could just be hiring their own refs and doing all the right things, but of course we will not. So annually, when Roger says absurd things like that, that's what I'm selling. Because now is the only time he comments on it, and it's always some absurd comment that he has that zero people agree with.
It's always the meme of "this is fine" every
Yeah,
year.
pretty much. So that's what I'm selling.
Colton, you want to go, or I got mine?
I'm going to keep it all on the same topic here. I'm selling Nico Williams and the Dallas Mavericks. What are you doing trading a 25-year-old superstar? I know I'm on the wrong sport for the week, fellas, and the biggest game of them all this week. Shame on me. That's fine. Shame on the NFL for having no storyline and having the same one over and over that I could care less about. Yeah, Dallas Mavericks, what are you doing? There's my sell.
I was gonna sell the Pro Bowl, but it's just too easy. It's just too easy. Can't.
Low hanging fruit.
It's too low. One, now I'm selling Colton because he doesn't know what show we're on. I'm gonna sell the MLB firing Pat Hogue for alleged gambling. How can he be fixing games if he's calling literal perfect games? It's statistically impossible, yet he's like a machine. So makes total sense. The one
Angel Hernandez
referee or an umpire in all of sports is actually good and is perfect every time, and he's gone. He's just too good.
Damn.
My sell is Justin Tucker. I don't really want to talk about it. And let's go into holds here. What about holds?
I'm holding on to my fantasy name for next year of Rub and Tuck. That is, I'm holding on to that name for next year. No, we'll stay on football for once out of all mine. It took me 2 segments to realize we're Super Bowl week. I should do something football. I'm going to hold on to Patrick Mahomes winning another Super Bowl. Just have a weird feeling he's going to do it again. And then Travis Kelce's back because they go for a 4. I just, why? Who let these morons back in the game again? Can Josh Allen and company get over the hump, please? Holy cow. This is awful. Holding on Kansas City, winning another Super Bowl.
I'm going to hold on. I think that this is going to be a bottom halftime performance. It's been scrutinized since it got announced. And
I just hope it's 15 minutes of him calling out Drake.
it's probably going to be that. And I really don't care because we've been hearing it for way long. So, I'm holding on it being a very forgettable halftime performance.
I don't know. I'm holding on that. The idea of the Australia game. I think this is going to be it. They have to do this.
A spider outbreak at a team hotel. I can't wait for that headline.
One, yeah.
Kangaroos storm the
jeez.
field.
Steve Irwin's son is trying to corral the kangaroos.
Oh,
That would be a cool halftime performance. It's like, he has a whole like rope and he can like corral them all. That would be a
You
pretty
know,
cool halftime show.
you know, Bindy's gonna be there, and freaking, they're gonna do a whole thing. It's gonna be a thing. It might be, could be cool.
It's gonna be a thing.
Could be cool, but probably won't be because, of course, it's definitely that's a good hold, honestly, because who knows?
They're walking this real narrow path to where it's like gonna be okay, but otherwise it's gonna be a shit show, way worse than the Brazil game was.
Yeah.
In my hold, I'm going to hold on the Chiefs that this could be the third time in a row. That's my final hold. And there we have it. Whole bunch of weeks. Middle of July, 90 degrees. Now down to 30 degrees and a wind chill outside. As low as the single digits, as high as probably 100 degrees during this entire time. Our last picks of the season. Unfortunately, I actually forgot the time, and I was playing too much Rocket League before we started the show, so I never made the lower third graphic.
Oh,
So-
thank God. So it looks like I'm still reigning champ. I love it. Thank you. Appreciate you.
So yes, we are down to our Super Bowl picks. Let me get this Google Doc up here. Where is it? There we go. And it goes as follows. I have 15 in this playoffs. Dom has 13. Jake has 11. And Colton, you have 9. And here we go. Our picks, followed by the MVP, and then the score prediction.
I'm tired.
So yeah, here we go. Colton, you're the only one that has not had their picks in here yet. So
Yeah, I'm terrible. I totally forgot. I told you it's a bad week for the NFL that I don't know your big games this week until Sunday when I wake up like, oh yeah, the Super Bowl's today. I think Kansas City wins again. I think they win 35-32. Kansas City win. Super Bowl MVP goes to one, the only America's favorite, Patrick Mahomes. Low hanging fruit, that's fine. Oh, big pick, Colton. Yeah, Chiefs win. Andy Reid's a genius, and that's a wrap on the season.
let's go to Dom here. Dom, go down the board.
I went Philly. I think factor is Saquon. I think it's different than any other year. I that's really it for me is the Saquon thing. All playoffs haven't been stopped. Like the consistency, we talked about it last week. That's been the biggest part is the consistency from Saquon. That's been the biggest game changer across every Eagles game matchup, every playoff so far. I think everyone can agree he's been the best performer in playoffs, and it's not close across the board. So that's just it. That's a factor. So I'm going Eagles, Saquon MP, and then a final score of 34-28.
Let's go to Jake now.
Do I even have to say pick? Is that like
By God, it's the Commanders. The Billy Bowl could happen. It's the Rams.
Yeah, I think. Well, Will hasn't done his pick, but we're gonna, for the third time this playoffs, crush Will's hopes, and the Eagles win their second Super Bowl on the back of Saquon Barkley's MVP. Because if we're gonna win, we're gonna need him to have a Saquon Barkley game where he may not need to get that 100 yards that they saw at Spagnuolo, but he needs to do enough to burn clock, keep the offense off, Chiefs offense off the field, and just be efficient and score. And something's telling me about 28-20. Just over one score, really, with a 2-point conversion, and the defense does its job.
My pick is Chiefs. MVP is Mahomes. Instead of 28-24 is what a generic score is, I went 31-27 on this one. So that is my pick there for the Super Bowl. And gentlemen, it is went. This entire season, starting from the middle of July all the way to the beginning of February, come and gone. And that's it. follow us on all the social medias down below. YouTube for the Fan Network, TikTok for the Fan Network, X for the Fan _, Instagram for the Fan Football. We'll be back probably right before free agency. Week right before. We'll break down some key positions there as this free agency class will, I don't know if it'll outpace last ones, but it'll be up there. And yeah, any final thoughts? Last show of the year. Well, season, actually, but
as always, Will sucks. Good luck, Jake, this weekend. And yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, it's been a good year. It's been a solid For the Fan year, honestly. It's actually been
sorry to hear about your brother passed away. He gets 5 big booms. Boom! 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 Boom!
I do look forward to the previews. The previews are some of my favorite times of the year. So I'm excited. And the draft day, the show that we do for the draft is always fantastic. So
I can't wait to gaslight Colton again to think the Falcons are going to be good.
Did somebody say boom?
Viva Las.
I need one of these.
Did somebody say boom?
I need that stretch.
Viva Las Vegas. All right. Well, in that case, tune in March. We'll be back here. Free agency preview and then free agency show. Yeah, follow us for the Fan Network on YouTube, for the Fan Network on TikTok, X for the Fan _ and Instagram for the Fan Football. It's been a great year. We're going to continue it all over social media. So everyone take care. Enjoy the Super Bowl and go team go.
Will still sucks.
I don't really give a fuck.